It's turning into black, is it?
Aistear is the curriculum framework for learning and development in Ireland. It marks an important milestone in early childhood education in Ireland. The Irish word for journey is Aistear, which represents the beginning or perhaps the further advancement of an exciting journey for many, for parents in children's own homes and practitioners, including childminders and infant teachers in the variety of out-of-home settings as they begin to use Aistear's contents, and for children as they embark on their lifelong journey of learning and development. Aistear was published 10 years after the primary curriculum. Aistear celebrates early childhood as a time being and of enjoying and learning from experiences as they unfold. This learning also lays important foundations for later learning because early childhood marks the beginning of children's lifelong learnings. Aistear's curriculum framework for learning and development was designed for children from birth right through 6 years of age. It focuses on each child's sense of well-being, identity and belonging, communication, and exploring and thinking. The framework highlights the critical importance of children enjoying and benefiting from early childhood and its potential adventures and discoveries. It also illustrates the breadth and depth of children's learning when given rich and varied experiences, this learning and development. The framework also provides guidelines on supporting children's learning through partnerships with parents, interactions, play, and assessment. Aistear is based on 12 principles of learning and development, and these are presented in 3 groups. The first group concerns children and their lives in early childhood. The second group concerns children's connections with others, and the third group concerns how children learn and develop. Ireland's Aistear curriculum framework follows the theoretical basis for its learning from experiences through play, which is well known and accepted with studies of the following theorists. Much of children's early learning and development takes place through play and hands-on learning experiences. Through these, children explore social, physical, and imaginary worlds. These experiences help them to manage their feelings, develop as thinkers and language users, develop socially, be creative and imaginative, and lay the foundations of becoming effective communicators and learners. This curriculum framework follows 3 pedagogical approaches in teaching and learning. First is collaborative approach. Sometimes the adult leads the learning and sometimes the child leads, where it requires students to work together in a team. This framework supports communicating, which focuses on children sharing their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and feelings with others with growing confidence and competence in a variety of ways and for a variety of purposes. Second is the integrative approach. The classroom teaching are more meaningful and relevant. Through this approach, the children can relate classroom education with the real-world applications. A part of exploring and thinking theme extends young children's knowledge about the world. For example, one activity from this theme was to allow children to record their holiday destinations and explore what modes of transport they use. And lastly, the inquiry-based approach. One of the themes in this framework is the exploring and thinking. This is about children making sense of the things, places, and people in their world by interacting with others, playing, investigating, questioning, and forming, testing, and refining ideas. Here, children use their sense, their minds, and their bodies to find about and make sense of what they see, feel, experience in the world around them. Aistear promotes planning that includes the learning environment that will provide opportunities for the children to play, explore, inquire, experiment, and discover. It proposes flexible time for pedagogical approaches that benefit from extended periods of time, for example, child-led play and inquiry-based learning. In other words, Aistear encourages positive learning dispositions such as curiosity, imagination, creativity, and innovation. Active, intelligent, with equality and diversity, seen with uniqueness and with rights and responsibilities, are the image of the child in this framework. In this quotation extracted from the textbook, it shows positive evidence of an image of a child related to Aistear framework. Nurturers, partners, guides the child, teacher-child continuity are the role of educators in this framework. Teachers prepare the environment, observe the children, and give demonstrations. Teacher acts as the facilitator, demonstrating an education based on freedom and discipline. Teacher-child continuity is where teachers work with some children as they move through a 3-year cycle. In this curriculum framework, parents are recognized as active partners since experience takes place outside the classroom are the most formative for children. Reciprocal relationships between the adult and the child is also encouraged as a practice in this framework. For assessment and evaluation, observation is on the first list as a form of assessment in Aistear framework, since this is the primary source of information for teachers. Recognizing the diversity of our societies, children, and the families requires their voices to be heard about how a democratic community that reflects their values and beliefs would look. Pedagogical documentation such as portfolios, checklists, record keeping, and anecdotal records as well are the focus and expertise of the educator in this framework. Family connections and communications are also considered as part of the assessment of the child in this framework. The curriculum considers that parents and families have lots of information about the child and what they are interested in. That makes it an important part of monitoring and evaluating the child's learning and development. Ontario's pedagogy composed of 4 foundations: belonging, engagement, expression, and well-being. While Ireland's Aistear Children's Learning and Development Curriculum Framework composes of 4 themes, and these are identity and belonging, communicating, exploring and thinking, and well-being. The figure describes Ireland's learning and development through themes. The chart shows the similarities of Ireland's Aistear Curriculum Framework to Ontario's How Does Learning Happens. Both framework considers belonging, well-being, engagement, and expression as the foundation or the basis of their curriculum. The table shows the goals of both themes in its framework. Both expertise practices the same goals and outcome for their children. These are the sample learning goals for each theme, and if you read and study each of them, you can clearly identify and distinguish that these themes are of great similarities to Ontario's How Does Learning Happens. The slide shows the highlighted pedagogic tradition in this framework. You can see through here the focus and the depth of this framework. Teachers use appropriate and evidence-based pedagogical approaches and strategies to foster engagement, ownership, and challenge while connecting with children's life experiences and their interests. Thank you for watching this video presentation. I hope that you learn a lot from Ireland's Aistear Curriculum Framework. These are the references used in this presentation. Muchísimas gracias.